What a big week for Elvis fans. This week, June 24th, Elvis, the brand new movie, hits theaters. Now I'm going to a very special screening of Elvis tonight, the 21st, to see the movie at a special fan event. And I'm also going to go see it Thursday before it premieres in theaters. And it got me thinking, it has been several years since I have visited the Replica GRACELAND House here in Central Florida. And there's a very interesting story to how this house came about. And the man who originally lived in it was an Elvis fan. Supposedly the person who lives in this house now is not. But as you round the corner here, the turn into the cul-de-sac, there it is. I feel like I'm back in Memphis, Tennessee. Just like I was in December. And the gates are open, wow. Let's go check this out. Hi everybody and welcome to the World of Micah. Today we're going to be checking out the Replica GRACELAND House here in Orlando, Florida. And you guys are going to get to tag along with me. Now. Let's take a closer look. Now this is the house right here. Full replica of GRACELAND here in Orlando. I can't really wrap my head around it anytime that I visit this place. It's been a while since I visited this. Now in 1981, a man with the last name of Dowda built this house. Cost him $480,000 to build. A man named Dowda, last name Dowda, who was an owner of a local bar and grill here called Sharky's, he purchased this house and had it built. Well, purchased the land and had it built. Apparently there's a $75,000 chandelier in the foyer, and the surfaces of lush Italian marble, and one upstairs room was decorated with tropical furnishings to mimic the jungle room at GRACELAND. Now the one thing that is different from this in GRACELAND, I'm going to point out right away, there are two entrances with gates. The GRACELAND in Memphis, Tennessee, there's only one set of gates. Here, they have two different sets of gates. Little interesting. Also, the fencing here is different from the one in GRACELAND because people sign their name on the brick part of the fence in front of GRACELAND in Memphis, Tennessee. Obviously, people don't do that here, which I'm glad they don't, because I'm sure these guys would not be a fan of that and probably have this removed. And then the third thing, in the backyard of this house, the swimming pool is not a kidney-shaped swimming pool like Elvis had. It's a guitar-shaped swimming pool. How crazy is that? We'll walk up here to these, because I'm still technically on the sidewalk here. Look at that. The gates of the GRACELAND replica here. Kind of reminds me of GRACELAND with kind of the hills and, you know, everything. You can imagine Elvis riding his golf cart around here and and the go-karts. But yeah, this is completely different here than it is at GRACELAND. People would sign their names if this was the real GRACELAND. And in the front, right above the door at the real GRACELAND, it says P on it. And that would have been Elvis's room right there if we were at the real GRACELAND. The lions in the front are pretty spot on. A few differences, but obviously when you pull up, you're like, man, this colonial house here looks just like GRACELAND, Memphis, Tennessee. There is a limousine out front that was here last time I was visiting this place. And I don't want to get too close, you know, I stay respectfully on the sidewalk here. But this is it. The replica house. So the man, oh, we got somebody walking out the front door. So here's the second set of gates here. And there's a beware of dog sign right there. This Gentleman just walked out of the house and told him I was a big fan of Elvis, and he kind of just waved. So I guess we're okay. Now, the man who owned this house originally fell in some hard times and he had to put it up for sale. There was a couple who wanted to buy this for kind of the similar reasons. They were fans of Elvis, and unfortunately they weren't able to buy because apparently someone, and I think it's the same person who owns the house now, put in an offer that the realtor could not refuse. And supposedly they have nothing to do with Elvis, could care less. Just noticing there's a Christmas wreath above the door, so maybe they have not been home. Maybe this is like a vacation spot for them. I got this guy leaving. You never know. There's so many cars and boats and everything here. I wish I could get in the back and see that guitar-shaped pool. So the pool, the swimming pool part, is set as a guitar, and then the hot tub makes the headstock. But I mean, I'm looking at the stained glass above the door there and the windows. It screams Elvis and Graceland. It's just like he has it out in Memphis, Tennessee. Just blows my mind. And if you're asking and wondering, yourself, would I live in this house? Oh, you betcha. And if you look at the houses down the street from this cul-de-sac, just plain Jane houses. It's just so interesting. It's kind of like the real Graceland, because if you drive around Graceland, all the houses in that area look pretty much similar to these. Just regular, ordinary houses. And then you have this at the end of the cul-de-sac. Kind of like the Cinderella Castle to us Elvis fans. And not that they're going to be selling this house anytime soon, but it would be interesting for an ultimate Elvis fan to purchase this house, make it into like a museum, because there is a local fan club here in Orlando that I'm a part of, the Orlando Elvis Presley Fan Club. This would be amazing to have Elvis tribute artists here perform here. You could swim and have some luau's out at the guitar-shaped pool. It would be so much fun to have a place, and there's plenty of parking here in this cul-de-sac, but I'm sure that would be frowned upon in a neighborhood, a subdivision. But man, I didn't have to drive to Memphis, Tennessee today to see this. And I'm gonna give it one last look as we walk around. There's not a whole lot to see. The front of the house and everything is, it's kind of a bit of a ways. But these are just like the ones in Graceland. Whoever did this fencing, it's the same exact fencing. The music notes are strikingly the same. I'm sure the same company who did it in Graceland did this. The limousine kind of gives the feel that Elvis is here. Seems like they're doing a lot of yard work out here. And the last gate. I'm sure with the new film coming out, this place is going to get a lot of visitors once they figure this out. But I always remind people, when you visit houses, movie houses, historical houses, be respectful. This is where people live. Stay off, in the street, take your photos, then kind of move on. Now I'm gonna head over to the back street here and see what all I can see of the back side of the house. I know there's some access back there because of the neighbors. See if we can get a glimpse of the backyard and see if it looks anything like Elvis's backyard in Memphis. Now right here is behind the house. You can see behind Graceland here. I'm calling it Graceland because that's what we're calling it right now. The replica Graceland house. Similar to Elvis's. But Elvis had a big backyard. That's for sure. Vernon's smokehouse and his office and his racquetball court and his barn and everything. Right over that fence right there is where the guitar-shaped pool is. Now, as you can see, this is a satellite view of the swimming pool. It's a guitar shape. The actual swimming pool itself is the guitar body. And then, if you get to the headstock, where the tuning pegs are on the guitar, that is a hot tub. Now, Elvis's pool at Graceland looks like this. This is the kidney-shaped swimming pool that Elvis has at Graceland. I think everybody expects Elvis to have a, guitar-shaped pool, but no, he never did. But this house does, which is very interesting. I'm wondering if the, owners like that, if they ever change it. Probably be too expensive to change it. I'm just trying to wrap my head around why someone would purchase a house that they know is a replica of the King of Rock and Roll's house, and they know that people will be viewing this house, coming by and seeing it, but they do not like the King. Supposedly do not like the King of Rock and Roll. And if you want to get really technical, the real Graceland in Memphis, around where we are right now, on the backside of Graceland, is where Vernon's house was. He was that close, and he could access Graceland from the backside of his backyard. I'm going to put a link up so you guys can see that. When I actually visited Vernon's house in Memphis. And that is that. We came, we saw, we took care of business here today in Orlando, Florida at the Replica Graceland House. Not far from Walt Disney World and Universal Studios in downtown Orlando. Pretty incredible that this sits here. Not a lot of people know about it. There have been several videos about it. I did a video years ago, I believe it was like 2015. And here I am doing it once again. One day, I would love to go inside that house. Anybody has connections? Let me know. I would love to do that. But it is time to say goodbye. Today is a short, quick trip, but that's okay because at least we got a trip together in today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, click the thumbs up button. And if you guys aren't subscribed, go ahead and do that. I will see you guys on the next adventure. Until then, stay weird. Goodbye.